Boom! Welcome to another episode of Mike Sports. I'm your host, Eric, joined as always by Landry. Landry, how the hell are you?
It's been a minute.
It has.
It's been a little while.
Sometimes during the summer, we take some summer breaks, especially, not a whole heck of a lot going on. Of course, the NBA Finals just wrapped up. Giannis Antetokounmpo certainly answered some of his critics.
Yeah, Poo basically put up 50 time. Michael Jordan is the only player to close out, a championship final game with 50 points. That puts him in some very elite company.
Yeah, that's some rarefied air that, he's up in now. So good for him, good for Milwaukee, because let's be honest, if you're living in Milwaukee, you don't got a whole lot going for you. But now you got the NBA championship. Nah, I'm kidding, people. Milwaukee.
He's not, but still fun.
I was actually there once several years ago. Flew into Milwaukee and drove to Green Bay for Eagles-Packers.
I'm sorry to hear that.
I had a really good experience there, despite the fact the Eagles lost that game.
Yeah, I got a really good experience there. I got off the plane and immediately a buck came and took me out.
Yeah, it was fun. Great time. Great time was had by all. So we are a week away from camp, and I'm going to cheers to that.
The Cowboys are in camp.
Right. The Cowboys and Steelers each reported to camp since they're in the Hall of Fame game. I wonder if we could possibly get an extra episode of Hard Knocks because of the extra week of camp for the Cowboys. That'd be nice.
That could be. It could be. It all depends on what HBO wants to do. From what I've read on the Wikipedia, it's still 4 episodes.
Yeah.
So is it 4? Yeah. Hold on. I look that up right now.
That does make sense. I mean, that's TV structured. They probably aren't changing something like that on the fly.
Well, it's in an agreement with the NFL. So, I mean, HBO doesn't it doesn't decide on the fly what it wants to do. This is all preconceived.
Right. Yeah, all that stuff is bargained in. And,
yeah. I'm sorry. So it would be 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so it's 5 episodes a season. It's the week before the first game, and then 4 weeks of the first game, or of each preseason game.
Preseason game, yeah.
I would like to see them do all the way through and include the first week of the regular season.
That'd be pretty cool.
Toss it in there, yeah.
Yeah, show the final cut down. Of course, they do a lot of the final cut downs.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. And that's always been, for me, the best part of watching Hard Knocks has been watching the front office personnel and how they handle the cuts and the roster.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think that's one of the more intriguing parts of the show is, I remember the first time I watched a single episode and they showed, guys getting cut. I remember being very, struck by how well they did that. Bring them in. Don't set them up. Don't hey, look, I just want to let you know you did so much. Just tell them, this is what's happening. We're going to cut you, and this is what the process is going to be. Let them have that shocked moment, but you're still moving forward. You're still trying to help them with their career in that moment. And I thought that, a really good job the way that GMs handled that around the league.
The only thing I can't help but, listen to and go, oh, who cares? It's when they do the whole, hey, you worked your tail off. Thanks for coming in. Players are like, dude, just cut me. Shut the crap. I don't care. I don't want to hear how good I was, yet I'm cut.
Well, what I like is when they tell them things like, hey, we're cutting you. This is why you need to work on these things. And, hey, keep plugging and find your way back into the league.
Or sometimes they say, we're going to show your tape to a couple of other teams who are interested in you. And if we can get you over there, we're going to do that. So I do applaud that. But when it's just a straight up, you suck, you're not really cut for the NFL, I'm like, just tell the dude bye. Don't say you worked your tail off. No player walking out of the building gives a shit how hard they worked if they didn't get the result they wanted.
Well, and it's like they know they worked their tail off. They were there.
Exactly. That's my point.
That's my point. I agree. I feel like that's just a good approach anywhere in business too. If you're just not cut out for that spot, don't listen there. Oh, we really appreciate your effort. Just screw you and your appreciation. Am I fired?
I like the Trump approach a little better.
You're fired.
Yeah, you're fired.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I mean, I could at least take that and be
like, shake my hand and tell me I'm fired. Look me in the eye, shake my hand. I know you respect me by shaking my hand, look me in the eye, but I also know I'm fired. I don't need all the in-between shit.
That's all you need to know, really.
I don't need all the in-between shit. I think the funniest one I ever saw, though, and I can't remember his name. Who's the dude who walked off the field who was a Bills and at halftime just didn't come back?
Oh, I know. Yeah. I can't
Anyways, when he was on the Dolphins and they were letting him go on Hard Knocks, he's like, can I call my grandma? I need to call my grandma. And you can tell the GM is like, what the hell's wrong with this guy? Like, he's like, we can call your grandma. We're having a man-to-man conversation. Grandma's nothing to do with this shit.
It's funny, but it does show that, like, in those spots when you start to panic, it's like your career's flashing before your eyes, really, and you start to think, what do I need to do? Who do I need to reach out to? Who's my safety net? And for him, that was his grandma.
Yeah. Because I think they were trading him to Indianapolis. That's where he was going, if I recall.
Yeah, here we go. I knew it was something. I thought it was Davis. Vontae
Davis. Oh, there we go. All right.
Good call. That's our audience coming through.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the kind of audience we have. They come through for that. They got that, like, somehow they just know those random topics.
Yeah, Chris is that guy who watches the Buffalo Bills wide right on video, but he acts like he's never seen it. And when it happens, he freaks out and loses his mind, runs around. I can't believe it, because he's got that Bills fan in him. That's why he knew what was going on.
You know me, I appeal to the Bills Mafia.
Wide right, bitch. Wide
right. Those poor guys.
Yeah.
It's funny. And that actually segues in. I want to talk about teams that we think have championship aspirations. Now, look, camp's starting next week for 30 teams, 2 teams starting today. Everybody right now has championship aspirations. But who are the teams? And I'll just go 3 aside. 3 teams from the NFC.
Yeah, no Bucks, no Kansas City talk.
Okay.
We obviously know their championship. We know they're going to be in the Final Four in their division regardless, probably. So let's go. You said 3. Who would be your third one?
So my 3 teams from the AFC would be, since we're excluding the Chiefs, obviously the Buffalo Bills, the Cleveland Browns, which sounds funny for me to say.
I'm with you on the Bills.
Tennessee Titans.
I'm with you on the Titans. I'm not with you on the Cleveland Browns. I think they're a competitive team. I still think they got a lot of work to do. They just happened to have a good year last year.
Oh, what do you think of this? Josh Allen, Carson Wentz will battle out for the MVP this season.
I'm going to reserve judgment on Carson Wentz until I see his first 4 games.
What's that?
I'm gonna reserve judgment on Carson Wentz until I see his first 4 games.
Well, sure, but I'm just saying, like, gut right now, I think Carson Wentz will be much improved. I don't know if it were going to be MVP conversation, but I think he'll be much improved from what he was last year.
That's funny because you sung a different tune during the season when I said Wentz would not be on your team. Of course, you flipped out, told me I was nuts. Can't believe I'd say that. I should put on a cross.
I still think what the Eagles did was nuts.
Yeah. Well, I think what Rosen did is nuts. I think the rest of the Eagles all had their head straight, but they didn't have really a choice in the matter. But,
well, and
look, I'm with Chris on Josh Allen, Carson Wentz.
Oh yeah,
we'll see.
I'm definitely with
him
on Josh Allen.
We'll see.
Oh, okay. Chris with the fire tonight. Possibly in the AFC Championship game.
Absolutely not. That's the Colts. No.
So okay, I told
not
you
in the first year. Not in the first year with Wentz. Nah.
I told you my 3 AFC teams. Who are your 3 AFC teams? Excluding.
Well, I went with 2, not 3, like you did. But I'm going with. So you're doing a runner-up, obviously. I'm going with the Bills.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going with Tennessee Titans for sure. I mean, you know me, I'm a big Titans fan. I think they're the dark horse team. In that division. I think the Steelers have a bounce back year this year. I think they look a lot better than they did last year.
Yeah, it's funny. I was watching NFL Live today, and they were talking about the Pittsburgh Steelers. They had to revamp the offensive line. Of course, they talked about Dallas Cowboys too, since both those teams reported for camp today.
World champions, understand?
In 1996.
And 94. And 93. Don't leave years out on my team, dude. Don't be like shortcoming me. Just give me one championship. You're going to go back. You got to give me it all.
But it's just, I was trying to go with the most recent. And so it was just 1996 was the most recent.
But I can't just, if you're going to take me back there, I got to start going on all of it.
I know. Then we start getting into middle school days, and it's like.
Exactly. Sending in Miss Smith money, whatever it takes. For those who don't know the story.
Yeah, go ahead and tell them the story.
When I was in I was in sixth grade, and the Cowboys were in their, I think it was their second Super Bowl. No, it was their first Super Bowl. And it was their second Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And Emmitt Smith had broken his arm that season. And back then, as kids, we didn't know how much money they made and whatnot. We just think football players, they probably make a normal salary. So me and my friends got an envelope to collect money to send Emmitt Smith to help him with his hospital bills, not knowing. Now, halfway through it, I'm like, wait, something doesn't add up here. My friends are still on board with doing it. I started to think, this is nuts. This dude obviously is playing Super Bowl. He's doing commercials. Then I saw his Reebok pump commercial. I'm like, wait, he doesn't need our money. And, of course, my friends are like, how do you know that? I'm like, so that's where the divide happened. He never got any of my money. My guess is the other kid probably caught on to it and kept the envelope himself and said he sent it to Emmitt Smith. Who knows what happened after I bailed out. But young mafia kids, man. Young mafia kids awesome. Working those envelopes. Yeah.
Let's just hope we didn't have a light envelope.
Your two sheaves tight.
So, okay. I'm with you on the Titans, obviously. Now, the Pittsburgh Steelers, we were talking about them and, a revamped offensive line, which that offensive line was in shambles at the end of the year. Now, there's a lot of mitigating circumstances to what maybe led to Pittsburgh having a real down second half, one of which they had to have their bye week moved around because of COVID. I believe they played a game almost, I think, every day of the week during the course of the season. Yeah,
but and also, consider something. Since Mike Tomlin has taken over there as a head coach, he has never had a losing season, ever.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And because of that, it's easy for me to say they're going to be one of the teams in there.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Now, the reason I went with, the Titans, the Bills, and the Browns, I'm looking for the Browns to sort of keep building on what they started last year. I'm looking at, I still think that the Pittsburgh Steelers, there's a good chance they take a step back. Maybe not as far. Now, a few months ago, I was ready to tell you they could be among the bottom teams in the AFC. I don't know if I'm willing to go that far now. Just looking at their roster, it's a good roster. And I think maybe I was just overselling the whole Ben getting old. But he apparently really committed himself and got in really good shape. And lost a ton of weight. And here we go. Here's a good one. Last time,
whatever. I'm already on the Steelers are overrated. They'll be 9-8, maybe 10-7. Yeah, but 10-7 and 9-8 is enough to be in the playoffs in that division.
Hell, look,
and I think the opposite. I think the Browns take a step back.
Okay. Well, I mean, hey, that's
so we're on the same page, just about different teams.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I think the Browns kind of peaked, showed what they're capable of, but as usual, I don't think the Browns have that chemistry in that front office that keeps them completely solid at all times. I don't think they're crappy by any means; they're much better than they used to be.
Sure,
but I don't see them getting to that round.
Your older brothers Browns.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, but what I do like about the Browns is they definitely have the junkyard dogfight in them. That's what makes them relevant. They got that dogfight. And Baker's the perfect quarterback to lead that kind of fight because of his attitude.
I'm betting on them because I still think they're going to win this game at the line of scrimmage. That's what they do. That's their bread and butter. They win at the point of attack and then power running game. And I just think there's something to that. There's a reason why that, even in this, present day with everybody trying to air it out all the time, the Browns, man, they're just going to sit there. They're going to run the football, and they are going to just wear you out physically.
Yeah, I think the real thing for me that I want to see with the Steelers and Browns is, will the Steelers and the Browns quarterback try to kill each other again? Will we have another bar fight altercation? I think that's important.
I'll be kind of disappointed if we don't, right? I just feel like that should be the buildup. That's how the game should start. Instead of a coin toss, You just had Baker Mayfield and Ben Roethlisberger meet in a bar, fight it out, and the winner of that bar fight gets to decide whether they want to receive the ball or defer to the second half. Right?
And Garrett has that 12th man mentality because he came from A&M. So he's like, dude, if you hit me, the 12th man comes out of me and destroys you. He's got that whole kill you in a blind rage on steroids style.
Well, I mean, Baker Mayfield, he'll be all right.
Baker Mayfield just needs to grab his crotch. That's how he gets himself going.
Mm-hmm.
He grabs his crotch. He's like, I'm energized. I'm ready to dominate.
And
the thing is, what's funny is I just got through last night watching the 2004 draft. I rewatched it, and I was watching Eli Manning, Ben Roethlisberger, Aaron Rodgers.
Be with him.
Yeah. So Ben will be in the bathroom. Just saying.
Yeah, with maybe some nice female against her will.
Yeah. That's all right. I mean, look, you got to be an NFL player at the end of the day, and that's what they do. All right. What's the next subject we got?
Okay. So, hey, we covered the AFC teams. Let's talk about some NFC teams.
Who you got?
So, this is where it gets interesting. Now, I've been all aboard the Rams hype wagon.
Okay.
And I still stand on that wagon. Since you said just minus the defending champion, so I just have to go 2 teams, right?
Yeah, that's what I did last round. Do you want to remove our teams to remove bias, or do you want our teams are open for favor?
Well, I mean, our teams are available if you believe in them. Okay. And I mean, like Chris here with the obvious answer, Eagles 17.
No, Chris, here's what's funny. I think the Eagles are going to be better than Eric and Ryan do.
Yeah, that is nuts.
I do. I think because I believe in Jalen Hurts more than you guys do.
Think they are.
Because Jalen Hurts is from my city, right next to my state he played for. Yeah. And so I feel like I have a lot more faith in Jalen Hurts than you do. But I feel like I've known his whole entire career from high school all the way out. So I feel like I have a lot more faith in his ability to lead a team than you do.
Well, apparently you have a ton more faith than Chris does, even though he still thinks the Eagles are going 17-0. So.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, a little oxymoron statement there, a little 17-0, but I have zero faith in Hurts. I mean,
I think
that's called a fanatic in the NFL. That's what you call a fan. NFL fanatic. Yeah. Lunacy.
So, yeah, I'll go the LA Rams. I've been all aboard the Rams this whole season. So, I'm obviously sticking with them. I think they're right there. The other team, this all depends on Aaron Rodgers. If Aaron Rodgers ends up playing in Green Bay, then the Green Bay Packers are that other team.
Yeah. If he doesn't, then what?
If not, then I mean, I like the Arizona Cardinals. I don't. Oh my
God, we go through this every year. God, the Arizona Cardinals suck. I don't even get your fascination with them. They got a freaking midget running around the backfield. They got a guy with the name of a pie for a head coach. So I mean, it just don't see it. I just don't see it.
Yeah, you know what? Chris has been really hot. Oh, that
was great. You better fix your statement. Did you just say what I think you said?
He said Detroit. Don't sleep on Detroit.
I'm sleeping on Detroit. Detroit sucks.
Well, I will say I'm not going to sleep in Detroit. Just don't feel safe.
You'll wake up with no bed, and your hubcaps in your body will be missing.
Yeah, I had a really good friend in high school who he was originally from Detroit, and then he ended up his mom got moved back and her job back to Detroit.
Yeah.
And so, when he left, I was just like, good luck, buddy. Funny, I haven't heard from him since.
He's in a homeless shelter somewhere. Got lost in the system. Oh, that's fucked up. All right. That's all you got? You're going to pick a third? We're going to do what we did in the AFC. We're going to have the runner-up if you're one of your two. So let's say Green Bay doesn't have them. Who would you go with?
I'll go with I've been saying the Packers. Kind of. If I can
you imagine if Rodgers, by the way, went to New Orleans Saints?
Oh, I know, right?
So it's possible.
Sure, it is.
It's possible. Denver, New Orleans Saints, best landing spots.
I wonder about New Orleans. They're going to take a step back, losing guys like Sheldon Rankins and Jenkins. Um, I just think the Saints aren't going to be what they were a year ago defensively.
Yeah.
And that's
Chris, I'm with you. Arizona's garbage. I have no idea why this dude's fascinated with these freaking birds out in the middle of a desert.
Well,
come on, Eric. Give us your 2-cent thought on the Arizona Cardinals. Come on.
I like their roster.
What do you like about the roster?
I like Kyler Murray and DeAndre Hopkins. I like that combination.
DeAndre Hopkins, I'll give you that.
I like
Kyler Murray, I can't give you that.
There, Larry Fitzgerald. I just think that they're going to put up points.
Do you think Kyler Murray actually – can you see this dude winning a Super Bowl? I can't.
No, but I mean, I didn't really like – but could I see them being right there knocking on the door? Like, would it shock you to see Arizona get stomped by Tampa in the NFC title game?
Yeah, because I'd be surprised they're even there.
So you're telling me you don't think Arizona could – like if they were a wild card team, let's just say they go into the NFC East winner. Like I know you love your Dallas Cowboys, but you're always realistic about it. Whoever goes in their wild card weekend is probably going to be a favorite, whether it be Dallas, New York, Washington, or Philadelphia. Yeah. You're telling me they couldn't win that game, okay? And then, let's just say another wild card team wins, and so like Arizona's not going to Tampa. They go to the Rams. And look, I love the Rams this year, but like, would it completely shock you to see just a division rival who's playing them for the third time come in there and have figured out maybe that Rams defense a little bit? And
yeah, because I don't think Arizona makes the playoffs at all.
You don't think they make the playoffs?
Mm-mm.
There are 7 teams going to the play. Okay, tell me the other teams you think are making it ahead of them.
All right, so I'm on board with you on the Rams. I'm on board with you on Green Bay if they have Rodgers. If they don't have Rodgers, and Rodgers either goes,
I was about to say I'll buy in on Minnesota for that.
If Rodgers goes to the Saints, I will have the Saints in a wild card game likely. Then I think with his talent, he carries the Green Bay Packers, who have zero offense other than him at the end of the day. So anybody he goes to is going to be an offensive juggernaut. After that,
late in the process.
Yeah, my deal with the Rams, put it this way, and this would shock you. I have more faith in the Chargers than I do the Arizona Cardinals. Now, different division, get that.
Chargers are my this year's Buffalo Bills team.
Yeah,
like Chargers.
It's because of Herbert, right? It's because of Herbert.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
This kid is freaking amazing. He's just on the wrong team. It's Drew Brees all over again.
In the first half, or in the first 3 quarters of games, he threw 27 touchdowns and 6 interceptions.
Yeah.
In the fourth quarter of games, he went 4 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. He's got if he figures out that fourth quarter.
He's a prodigy, man.
Yeah, if he figures out that fourth quarter, man, he is good.
Now, if he figures out how to get to another team, he will be good. He stays on the Chargers, he'll be like LaDainian Tomlinson, all the guys that came before him, just dumpster fire at the end of the day. You know me, I'm anti-Charger. And it's all because of their front office, nothing to do with the players, the actual team. Their front office is garbage. I understand. Yeah. Every time a rookie gets a contract, the Chargers get stingy. We don't want to pay you. Let's fight for 9 months instead. I can't stand the way they operate. They remind me a lot of the Bengals, actually. So I'm going to have to go with I am going to throw the Saints in there. Okay. You think they're going to take a step back. I think they're just good enough to slide into a wild card spot and get in. I don't think they'll win it, but I think they're still capable because of their coaching, because of their front office. Peyton Manning works a lot of wonders with talent that's not even that good. He does have actual talent. He's just going to be missing the talent that you mentioned.
Now, I will ask you, as it relates, just circling back to my Cardinals.
Notice we haven't mentioned Seattle at all.
I know.
Isn't that weird? Yeah.
And that was the other thing I was going to mention.
If it's not the Saints,
affecting Seattle.
If it's not the Saints, I think Seattle. That's what I was going to say.
Yeah. See, I would buy more in on Seattle than I would New Orleans.
Yeah. See, with all those teams we're talking about, I'm like, I can't see the Cardinals squeezing in because of those teams. I just can't see it.
I'm not a believer in the Saints group.
Okay.
that's
so let's make a wager.
All right.
On if the Arizona Cardinals will make the playoffs at all, or what do you want to make it? Do you want to make it if they win their first round, or if they make it at all?
Make the playoffs. I think you had it right the first time.
Okay.
Make the playoffs.
Of course, because
you don't even think they're a playoff team.
Yeah, I don't. I think they're a solid team, but I don't think they're a great team. I don't see them in the playoffs. Mm-hmm.
Oh, I got to put this comment up there. I completely disagree with this one.
If Arizona plays Dallas one card weekend, Dallas was not. Yeah, I agree. I think Dallas would kill the Cardinals.
I don't
see what I do think could happen. I think Dallas could end up playing the Rams again, like they did 2 years ago. But I think the Rams would beat Dallas.
See, what I think is, I think the Rams are going to end up winning the division out west.
Okay.
Seattle's going to be like that top wild card and go into Dallas wild card weekend, and Seattle's going to beat Dallas.
So why do you think? Let me ask you this. Let's just see what kind of insight you got into me. Why do you think I think the Cowboys can't go to the Super Bowl and win it? Because I don't think they can, but there's a reason for it.
Defense. And mainly their secondary. Well, I know you don't believe in the coach.
I don't believe in it. I don't think he's the guy that takes them there. I didn't think Jason Garrett was, and I don't think this guy is. I still don't think we've locked down the right coach to ignite the talent in the way it needs to be done. I think we need a younger, more hip.
With reasonable, reasonable expectations. Who is the coach you'd like to go see them get? And when I say reasonable, you can't just say, okay, we're going to pluck Bill Belichick away from the Patriots.
Honestly, I wouldn't mind Doug Peterson. I like Doug Peterson a lot. That's why I was so shocked when the Eagles cut him. I couldn't believe it. I was like, y'all are stupid.
I was pissed.
Yeah. Doug Peterson, he's a little bit older, so obviously I'm going that route. I wouldn't mind seeing them, go get Oklahoma's head coach. I really wanted Urban Meyer for a long time. Obviously, that's a done deal, so I have to leave him out. But if I had my choice starting over when McCarthy was hired, I would have gone for Urban Meyer, personally. Right. But right now I'm going to have to go with Oklahoma's head coach as the guy. I think he's the guy. He puts together irregular offensive strategies that the league probably wouldn't have seen before. And he would just try something different.
I kind of believe, I kind of have, I guess, some intrigue in Arizona is Cliff Kingsbury. I really like him a lot, and I want to see that become a success because I enjoy watching his offense.
I do. Look, here's the deal. I do think they have been a success compared to what they were. I just don't think they're on the level that you think they are. Mm-hmm. You have them a notch above where I have them. That's all. I don't have them low. I just don't have them where you have them.
A dark horse to make a run. Yeah. Where I think they get beat is because their defense just isn't going to be strong enough.
I just think the NFC is too competitive right now. There's too many teams that are kind of up and coming and have the talent to pull a win out of their ass out of nowhere. And I just think there's teams more capable than Arizona at doing it.
Well, like I said, game of the year last year, the Arizona Buffalo, that was the game of the year.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that was a good game. Any given Sunday, man.
Oh, sure.
Any given Sunday. No matter what we say, that can all be obsolete if two teams just decide to show up 100% on that day and they just happen to be the right scheme to each other. And, throws all our logic out the window.
Oh, sure, yeah. I mean, logic gets thrown out the window all the time in the NFL. Yeah.
It's like boxing. Everybody has a game plan until they get hit.
Thank you, Mike Tyson.
Yeah, same thing.
Yeah.
Turn Muslim, eat your children, all that shit.
What I found most disturbing about that, Lennox Lewis didn't have any children. At least not at that time.
Yeah. Hopefully the Giants and the Giants fans have another temper tantrum. Yeah, I don't have any faith in the Giants. I'm not worried about the Giants.
What's your thoughts about Daniel Jones? Is this the year they finally realize that guy can't play?
Yeah, but he can run.
Yeah, but watch out for that 20-yard line.
Throw a little Nebraska option in there from 1995. I was like, you might have a good team with Barkley back there.
Watch out for that sneaky tackle or that 20-yard line.
Yeah. Oh, man. I tell you what. That dude's like Predator, man. His cloaking that he puts on, it's good shit. Yeah, it's good shit. I think Daniel Jones reminds me a lot of like a Trent Dilfer. Like he can toss it. Mm-hmm. He can hold down a game. He can manage it. He's just not the talent that's going to carry you over the finish line.
Right. And the Giants just don't have the talent around
him. Yeah, exactly. Trent Dilfer had a defense that may be the best ever.
Sure.
So debate. That's we need to have a conversation about the best defenses ever and who is the best defense. Because man, there's some real contenders in there to take it.
Well, you have to know who I'm going to say, right?
The Eagles 80s.
The 91 Eagles defense. Yeah,
that was close.
Yeah,
and they were good. I mean, they were good. Yeah, I mean they laughed at Michael Irvin. So I remember that shit.
I was not besmirching Trent Dilfer. I good use of that word, besmirch.
No big words, dude, on this. No SAT shit, none of that on this sports channel. It's all about dumbing down. We want to dumb down on this channel. We want to get stupid as hell. Yeah.
Well, why do you think
smart words? That was wrong with you, Chris.
Drinking beer on a Wednesday night.
Yeah.
Cheers, everybody.
Yeah, so those are my teams, and this whole Rodgers thing, you didn't believe me would go this far. And now we know they made him an offer for money that would have made him the richest quarterback in NFL history, and he turned it down. So now we know it's not about the money.
Yeah.
Now we know it's the bitterness of not giving me talent all this time I've been here to surround myself with to get into a Super Bowl. And I think honestly, it's got to come all from Tom Brady envy. It's gotta.
But can we be honest about this? Look at the roster of the Green Bay Packers and the offensive weapons that they have.
Mm-hmm.
How can he say that he's not been given any weapons?
I don't think that he hasn't been given any talent. I think he's never been given talent with a name. Right? There's no Julio Jones. There's no DeAndre Hopkins. He's never been given a player. He's had to turn guys that you don't really hear that much about. They become superstars because of him throwing the ball to them. Kind of like Brady had to do with the Patriots. Same thing. I didn't know who Welker was until Brady made Welker a guy he tossed to all the time.
Okay, but like Devontae Adams is much better than Wes Welker ever was in the NFL. Devontae Adams is one. If he's not number one in your
but Eric, man, we're talking bitterness over a course of like 12, 13 years now. We're not talking like the last year. He's just mad in general going, I'm this good. How come out of all this time you never sought me out like a number one or number two receiver? Why? He doesn't get it. He doesn't accept it that they think like that. It bothers him. Because he saw what Tom Brady go down there and say, give me this guy, and this guy, and we're going to the Super Bowl. And then he did it. And now Rodgers is like, dude, I'm just as smart as that. I could help you guys pick, but you don't even ask me. You don't care what I think. You just do your own thing. And I think the league is kind of making a turn where quarterbacks are having more say.
Like at least for quarterbacks, it's becoming almost like the NBA.
Mm-hmm. Where for quarterbacks. Yeah, I'd agree. Just for quarterbacks. Yeah. And Tom Brady's led that way. He basically created a trail and he showed him how it's done. But the difference that I like about Tom Brady, he finished his contract and then he went and did it. I don't know why Rodgers won't just finish out one more year and see how it goes and see if he can climb one. And if he doesn't, see ya. There's no debate.
Well, and I think that's going to be the agreement they end up coming to because there's a good out at the end of this year for Green Bay. Like they could just release him and let him go and all about this business, no cap hit, and he can go somewhere else and try and win a chance. I think that's going to be what they end up doing, saying to him, hey, look, come here, play this season, play the 2021 season with us. Hey, maybe we can go win a championship. And no matter what happens at the end of it, you want out, we'll release you. It'll be advantageous for us because we won't take a big cap hit. And you can go on and you can write the ending of your story. I think that's going to be the agreement they come to.
Yeah, I'm looking at his. I was trying to find his amount that he was offered.
Yeah, you can find the 2022 cap hit because I don't think it's much. If they release him.
Yeah. All right.
Well, yeah, and Chris.
No, whatever. Anyways,
Brady took some pay cuts over the years to get players to help him win, and I think what he was upset about and what caused this big rift is he was willing to continue taking those pay cuts, and then they weren't using that money to go get him weapons anymore. And he's like, well, what the hell? What am I taking pay cuts for then?
At the end of the day, it's kind of like the whole Favre thing. You get to a point where you can still play ball, but they just don't appreciate you like they did 10 years ago, 5 years ago, and you start to feel that, and you start to have a tension and uncomfortableness between you that's unsaid. And the only time you can actually voice it and throw it out there is when contract negotiation time comes or OTAs start, somewhere where you can make it known you're unhappy. And that's what it's doing. He's showing his unhappiness at this point because he has opportunities to do so.
Do you think, I mean, right now, gun to your head, do you think Aaron Rodgers is playing football with the Green Bay Packers in 2021?
Well, when we talked about this like 4 segments ago, I think I said a 10% chance. I'll up that a little bit. I'll say 20% now. But I still think at the end of the day, Green Bay realizes 2 things are going to happen, and we're going to have to make a choice, not Aaron Rodgers. One, he doesn't show up at all, and we lose a whole year and get nothing for him because he sits out. Or we just bite the bullet and say, fuck it, it is what it is. Let's go get 3 first-round picks or 2 first-round picks and like 2 second-round picks or whatever way they want to spin it and get him out of here while we can before we got nothing to deal with. So I think it's really the front office that's going to decide that, not Aaron Rodgers.
See, I think right now, like the time to trade him would have been around draft time. Like
shit, Aaron Rodgers is so good, man. There's no bad time to trade Aaron Rodgers. You're going to get whatever you want.
Well, okay, but like if he goes into like let's just say Denver, because to me that makes the most sense right now. Like that offense, either you're going to have to get Aaron Rodgers up to speed on their terminology and what they do in Denver, or you're going to have to get everybody else in that room up to speed on the way Aaron Rodgers wants to run things. And you've got, 5 weeks to do it. Like, good luck with that.
Well, look, I think Rodgers has set a tone that other players are afraid to do because he has the money and he can afford to do so. He can afford to say, I don't need the money.
Well, yeah, okay,
Give me what I want or I'm done.
I'm just saying it won't be a success in 2021. If he goes to the Denver Broncos, I don't think the Denver Broncos are now in 20.
I think they have 9 wins. I think he goes here right. He'll probably get about 9 wins. Probably not enough to get in there.
Right.
Yeah.
And I mean, and if I'm Aaron Rodgers, I'm not playing my whole hand so I can do that.
Yeah. Look, where do I think you're asking me? What do I think he'll do?
Mm-hmm.
Versus what I actually think is best for him are 2 different scenarios to me.
Okay, well then give me both.
I think he should be a Green Bay Packer and he should finish his contract and then go do what Brady did.
Uh-huh.
But what do I think is going to happen? I don't think he's going to play with the Green. I think he'd rather sit out at this point because of his mindset, who I see that he is at the end of the day. He's not going to do all this for nothing and then just show up the day of. I just don't see him thinking like that.
So you think he's either going to sit out
or he's going to say trade me before it's too late and you get nothing. And I don't think Green Bay's stupid. I think at the end of the day, when he turned down that offer to make him the richest quarterback ever, they basically said, this is for real. This guy does not want to play here. Money didn't even make a dent. We've got to think about what our options are.
Yeah, and that's where I mean, when he turned down that contract,
what would you do? What would you do if you were the GM of the Green Bay Packers? And let's say you couldn't get Rodgers on the phone at this point. You gave him the offer; it's been turned down. You're sitting here, and the owners or the shareholders for their team. So weird to say that.
Yeah.
Is going. What are we doing? In 3 days, I need an answer. What your next move is? What would you do as a GM? I trade him.
I'm calling the Denver Broncos. I'm calling the Miami Dolphins.
I'd move on.
And
you had the same spat with Favre. Same scenario all over again.
Yeah. And you have to do it. And you know what? You ended up getting a Super Bowl out of it when you did that to Brett Favre.
Yeah.
Like you did get a Super Bowl. And look, there's a lot of NFL franchises that if you had said to them, hey, yeah, you know what? You're going to jettison one of your all-time greatest stars, and it's going to become this real point of contention among your fan base. It's going to create a lot of uneasy feelings with a great star in the history of your organization.
Yeah.
But in the end, you're going to get a Super Bowl out of it.
I was thinking about this the other day. I was like, what if Rodgers, it's not going to happen obviously now,
right.
But I was like, what if Rodgers went to the Patriots, took Tom Brady's spot, and won a fucking Super Bowl? Dude, can you imagine?
Well, I mean, look, if I'm the Packers, one of the teams I'd be calling would be the New England Patriots. Now,
I'd call anybody who I know has a ton of capital to give away.
Right.
Yeah.
And
I'd be like,
invested in Mac Jones, but guess what, buddy? You're now the quarterback of the long-term future.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers is the immediate future.
Yeah. It's like when Peyton Manning came into Denver. It didn't matter what was going on there. For the next 2 years, it was all about Peyton Manning.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And if Rodgers is smart, I would want to only go to a team who I know has had high caliber quarterbacks for and knows how to deal with me and understand my mentality that I'm an elitist, that I want more control than you're going to want to give normal players. I'd want to go to like a Denver Bronco where they had to work with like a Peyton Manning. I'd want to go somewhere where they've worked with a high caliber quarterback before, so they understand what they need to do to make me my best.
Well, and think about it. Who's going to know what it takes to help a high caliber quarterback better than a team that's GM was a high power quarterback?
Yeah. And remember
Broncos.
Yeah, and remember, John Elway was one of the quarterbacks who pulled a lot of what Aaron Rodgers was doing way back in the day when he held out. So he understands the whole mentality around it. Not even Peyton Manning did that.
No.
Peyton Manning finished it out. They didn't want him back because of his fuse or whatever. So he was like, all right, I'm out.
Yeah, and then he went to Denver and, gets into 2 Super Bowls and wins one.
Yeah. He got one on his talent, and one was really the Broncos defense, and he held the game together. He was duct taped together in that game.
Oh, yeah, he won that second one because of that Broncos defense and because he was just smart enough not to screw it up.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he Trent Dilfer that second Super Bowl. Just enough to keep it alive. So I'm gonna agree with you, Chris. I don't think he's a good at evaluating quarterbacks, but what I'm saying is he knows how to deal with the mentality of a quarterback, like an Aaron Rodgers, the cockiness, the eliteness. He understands that mentality. Do I think he knows how to pick a quarterback? No, but Aaron Rodgers, you don't have to pick him. You already know he's good.
You don't have to be.
Aaron Rodgers is a known commodity.
Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah. This isn't evaluation. This is can you handle the personality that's incoming?
Yeah, I wouldn't trust John Elway to decide on
after Paxton Lynch and Osweiler. I mean, obviously this dude can't. And to my surprise, I thought he would be able to pick a good quarterback, but obviously he can't. But do I think he knows how to handle the mentality that could be incoming like a Rodgers? Absolutely. Right. That's the part.
Well, and that's where he showed you he could because he handled Peyton Manning.
Yeah. He let Peyton Manning be Peyton Manning. He didn't get in his way, and he made sure the coach knew that.
Yeah, and it was really smart. I know that there was conversations where Elway told Peyton, hey, look, you don't got to try to go out there and be John Elway. You don't got to go out there and do what I did. Play your game, and you're going to be successful.
Yeah, he's like, you'll never be as successful as me, but go ahead and do your thing, and you'll be successful. Kind of, but not as good as me.
Right,
I'm sure he kept throwing shit like that in there, make sure Peyton knew his place. He's like, you're never going to get hit by 2 dudes in helicopter like I did in the end zone. You're never going to have that sunset moment like I did.
Oh, so it was great. I was watching NFL Live today, and they talked about like standout Super Bowl moments because last night the NBA Finals, Giannis, and they all picked like these old ones. Like one guy picked Phil Simms in his moment with the Giants against the Broncos. Ryan Clark picked Doug Williams for the Redskins against the Broncos, and then one of the other guys chose Elway against the Packers in his helicopter, run. I was right away like, okay, like for me, obviously my moment that the guy I would pick out, like this is going to be a duh factor. Nick Foles, Super Bowl 52.
Yeah, I can't argue with that. As much as I don't like the Eagles, like I said, I give credit where there's credit due. I put my fanboyism aside, and that was a hell of a Super Bowl, and the Eagles, to me, earned that one. There's no taking that away from them. So I got a bone to pick before we close out the show.
Yeah.
So I watch HBO The Shop with LeBron James, and I watched Tom Brady's segment where LeBron said Tom Brady can never be the GOAT because he doesn't play both ways. And I was livid when I heard this. So if I'm living by LeBron's logic, that would mean probably only a tennis player could really be a GOAT.
Well, I think what he's saying is a basketball player because they play offense and defense.
They go both ways, right? But they're a team sport. But I'm like, if we're going to granular bring it down to like how good you are as a single athlete, well, it has to be a sport where you're the only one doing everything. If you're going to take it off that pedestal.
Yeah, I mean, that's just silly. I don't understand how LeBron can get to that.
And what was ironic is he just happened not to be on that episode. He wasn't present like he is in all the other ones. And I was like, oh, you want to be able to say it, but you don't have to be there with Tom Brady to say it to him. Yeah, that's pretty weak.
I gotta agree with this from Chris.
That's weak. Yeah, dude, I personally, I do not like LeBron James. Michael Jordan is the fucking GOAT. You're never going to convince me LeBron James is the GOAT. Because in the end, it's about championships and clutch. And there's nobody better than Michael Jordan. Now, if I ever see one, I'll denote that. But it's definitely not freaking LeBron James. So All right. I just wanted to pick that bone before I got off the show. It's been eating at me.
Yeah, no, I mean, this is what we're here for. Get some of that stuff off your chest.
Yeah.
Almost like therapy for sports fans.
Yeah. And I'm a life coach, but I need my therapy too.
Sure. Hey, mostly great therapists also see therapists.
Yeah. In New Jersey, it's required.
That's right.
Sopranos. Time.
Yeah.
That's actually a true law. It is.
Mm-hmm.
A therapist has to see another therapist.
That's crazy. Although you think about it, it makes a lot of sense. Which, I mean, on a non-sports thing to talk about, you and I, the crazy Sopranos fans, October 1st, Many Saints in Newark comes out in movie theaters. How pumped! I almost want to get a plane ticket, come down and see you that weekend so we can go see that movie. Just because of the hours that we spent watching Sopranos together while I lived down there.
Yeah.
You do not seem as excited about the prospect of becoming
not really.
Well, everybody, that's all we got for tonight. Thanks for joining in. Chris, thanks for all the comments. Bald Eagle, thanks for checking in. John Jones, thanks for checking in, sort of. I don't know what some of your stuff was about, but...
All right, Chris obviously needs to see a therapist. He's still talking down there. So we're closing out the show. Over and out.
All right, guys. Have a great night. Happy football. Only 50 days to go until the NFL season starts. Until your Cowboys take on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers opening Thursday Night Football.
And who do they play?
Yeah, the Bucs.
How'd you know?
Well, yeah, it's
a secret.
I was gonna say, I could look it up.
Yeah, right, and let's not forget that Hard Knocks will be coming before the season starts.
That's right.
So I'm pumped up for that, and not because it's Cowboys. Ask Eric. I watch Hard Knocks every year. I love Hard Knocks. I have every single season at my house of Hard Knocks, dating back to 2006 with the Kansas City Chiefs.
That's right.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. Thanks for joining us. Make sure to check out all the other shows on the Philly Sports Alliance, PSA, as we like to call it. Make sure to check out.
That's not a prostate test.
No, there's no prostate test involvement at all. Check out all the other shows. Join me tomorrow night for the repackaged debut of the TLC podcast tomorrow night, 7:00 Eastern.
You do a Tender Loving Care podcast now?
Well, it's tables, ladders, and chairs.
Oh, okay. Just making sure you clear that name up real quick for me.
Oh, no. I'm not trying to get in on your life coach stuff.
Yeah. Because I'm like, man, if I wasn't invited to that and I'm not getting paid by the hour, what the hell are you bringing it up to me for?
Yeah, that would be gimmick infringement, so I don't do that.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right. Have a good night, everybody. Go Birds.